When the earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. And believe me, he's winding up.
So, I think at the end of this episode, after the credits, after the little dancing thing, I'm gonna tell the story of how my day has gone, and I'm gonna show off the neat things that I got out of that last magic box. So if you're interested in hearing about my crazy ass fucking day over the last couple of days, it's Sunday and Monday story, and seeing some of the neat cards, then stay tuned. Don't just turn it off when you see me dance. Dance with me until I'm done, and then watch it start. Anyways. Alright, so. Saturday, I did the video about that other guy getting shot. Because that was the day that he got shot. And I would like to talk about that again, 2 days later. What have we learned? What do we know? First and foremost, and I hope that I said this Saturday. I don't know, I was pretty amped up. But, first and foremost, the man's dead. You know what I mean? Like, that, in and of itself, is just a tragedy. So, why did he die? How did we get here? How did we get here broadly? In 2007, 2008, we had the presidential election term. And everybody was told, you vote for the black guy, because if you don't vote for the black guy, we're going to call you racist. And that's just it. And everybody went, oh, I don't want to be called racist. So, you know, vote for the black guy. Vote for the black guy. All right, we'll see what happens. So Obama wins. Doesn't go great. 2012 hits. Again, people are told, well, he's a black guy. Gotta vote for the black guy. And, you know, Afghanistan. We need to have him for 8 years. We got all sorts of stuff going on. You gotta keep him. And a lot less people fell for the okie doke. But not enough. And we had Obama again. Now, we didn't have great choices. We really didn't. We didn't have great choices at all. That didn't help. Obama gets in. Things get even more fucked up. People are pissed. They're not happy with what's going on. Donald Trump. 2016. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton. They tried the same trick again. She's a woman. You gotta vote for her because she's a woman, or we're gonna call you sexist. And everybody went, it's Hillary Clinton. No. Donald Trump wins. So they were told yes twice in a row. Third time unlucky. No. We're not getting that fucking idiot in the office. And so, 4 years of Donald Trump. And what did they do? They kicked and they screamed. They threw themselves on the floor. They slammed their fists, kicked their feet, yelled and screamed and cried. And they rioted and they burned and they killed. For 4 fucking years, they went ape shit. 2020. Joe Biden. Alright. So you wouldn't vote for the obnoxious cunt woman. Fine, fine. How about a semi-functional corpse? So what we'll do is we'll tell you everything that he's done in the past. We'll have him out every once in a while, and then for the most part, we'll stick him in the basement and just let Donald Trump do his thing. So we get Joe Biden, and they go, okay, so you will literally vote for a dead man if we can push you far enough. All right, good. You learned. So, 2016, 2020, 2024. They said, all right, this time we're not even going to bother to give you a choice because we're fighting for democracy and you figured out Joe's dead. We're not even going to give you a choice because that's democracy. And we're just going to say Kamala. And you have to vote for this vapid piece of shit. Or we'll call you a sexist and riot for the next 4 years. At least. Have you learned your lesson? We get the dumb fuck and the retard. Or everything goes. And everybody went, no. So here we are again. Right? Donald Trump. So we didn't win at the ballot box. As you should in a democracy. See, the reason that the Republicans didn't riot for 8 years under Obama and didn't riot for 4 years under Joe Biden is because we lost and we went, fuck. We'll just have to see what we can do. And now, Donald Trump again. And for a year, everybody's been told about how ICE is a roving gang of unauthorized, untrained Proud Boys. They essentially are like, look, these is just the Proud Boys. ICE doesn't actually exist. It's not an actual department. They're not really law enforcement. This is essentially the Proud Boys. Donald Trump's private fucking militia. And they're going out, picking people up, and then they disappear. I've seen so many pictures of the Maryland man that was disappeared throughout the last year. It's insane. He disappeared all over the news for months. Oh, God. Every time they moved him, there was a news story about how the man who disappeared was being moved from this place that we know where he is to this place where he knows where he's going. And he's still just smoke. We get told all this retarded shit. And the retards eat it up. And so now, how did we really get here in the slightly more specific? Nick Shirley went out and did a little man on the street bit where he was going to investigate. We're doing investigative reporting here. The shit the I-Team used to do back in the day. I'm sure you have some sort of the Channel 5 investigative crew or whatever the fuck in your own neighborhood. Ours was the I-Team. And the guy would knock around on people's doors. Hey, so it says here that your place is full of roaches. And it's like a restaurant. And they're like, no, we're not talking to you. Hey, it says here that you're serving people bad food. You know, it's that kind of shit. Nick Shirley went out to do that shit. Go knock on some doors. Hey, so is this a daycare? Because like there's no playground, which it says you're supposed to have. There's no cars here, which isn't all that odd. I mean, there's one car. Is there just one person? Did like the whole fucking teaching staff come together in the same car? Is this a fucking clown car? Like what's going on here? And all manner of resistance. There's a whole thing, the whole story, the Leering Center. whole thing breaks. And Donald Trump, being the shrewd man that he is, he's like, all right, here's our opportunity to really have an open, we're cracking down type of thing. Make people feel good about that we're doing something, right? They'll be able to see it in real time. Because we're not getting these riots in Florida or in Texas or in California and the southern parts of it, you know what I mean? Like, they're sticking mostly to kind of Republican-ish areas. Every once in a while they kind of get into a Democrat area, but the Democrats for the most part cooperate here and there. But now this is Minnesota. This is sanctuary state. This is sanctuary city. Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Donald Trump is like, all right, here's where we see what happens. Let them in there. Pick up every one of those Somali people that are criminals. Get them the fuck out of there. Break that shit up. It's a great excuse to break up the enclave that has been built up in there. It's a great excuse to break up this fucked up voting bloc. Like, it's a great excuse to get people like Ilhan Omar the fuck out of office. Like, it's a great excuse to make a whole lot of things happen in a, we're breaking down your little shithole fucking scam power structure that you've built up around bringing all these people in, shoving them all in the same fucking area. They piss people off to the point where everybody fucking moves so that more of them can move in, and now you've got 20,000 fucking people, 100,000 fucking people, all in the same district, all in the same voting block, and they're all going to vote for the Somali chick. Yeah, fuck you. We don't need, this isn't the United Nations. We don't need a Somali representative in the United States Congress. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's a great reason. Get the fuck in there, break this shit up, get these illegals the fuck out of here. It's Minnesota. It's not like they give a fuck who's voting. They don't check ID. They don't give a shit. They want them all to vote because it's the way that they get power forever. And they take over a little piece here, a little piece there, and then they move people around. They make it so fucking awful in California that a bunch of idiots move around to the whole rest of the fucking country to take their idiot fucking disease of the brain rot with them. It's an infective strategy. Crush one place and then proliferate. It's a great excuse to go bust some shit up. The whole Somali scammer thing is going on right now. It's way in everybody's attention. The thing went viral overnight. Big fucking news. Everybody's going crazy. Send in ICE, get these people out of there. And then people will see, aw shit. We just heard about this. They're already fucking it up. America! Right? Everybody go crazy. Big wins. Right? But this is a sanctuary state, a sanctuary city. And it's Governor Tim Walz state. Not only did you not win the vice presidency, but everybody then called you a retard for a month. Like, Tim Walz. Donald Trump called him a retard. Started a whole fucking thing. He's massively pissed at Trump. He's not happy with a whole lot of shit that's going on. So rallies the troops. Starts this whole line about how ICE isn't even police. They can't lawfully give you orders. They can't lawfully arrest you. They can't stop you for anything. You can do whatever the fuck you want to them. Shoot them in the head if you want to. That's legal. We don't care because they're essentially the Proud Boys. Fuck them, right? They're just a gang of thugs. This is Nazi Germany, man. We got to protect our Somali Jews, keep them in our attics and in our basements, and go out there and honk your horns and blow whistles and get yourself shot for these people. So, the Gestapo is sent out to go and deal with the Gestapo. There's altercations, high tense situations, things happen, lady gets shot. Well, now they're definitely going to pull ICE out. They're definitely going to pull ICE out. They've got to now, Because we kicked and screamed and yelled and cried until somebody actually got killed. So now they gotta go. Nope. They're still there. They're still doing their jobs. So now everybody needs to be reminded of your rights. Not entirely, mind you, but just loosely. You know you have the right to carry a gun. And in Minnesota, you have a right to shoot people that you don't like. And nobody likes ICE. Just a friendly reminder. Right? And so, a guy listens. And the inevitable comes around again. So, how is it that this man came to die? From everything I have seen, from extensive rewinding shit back and forth, the way that it looks like this is going to ultimately roll as to how it played out is, the guy was reminded of his rights. He's a concealed carry gun owner anyways. So he's out there with his gun concealed to go and stand up for the Somali people that he doesn't know and doesn't care about, and that has probably fleeced him personally for tens of thousands of dollars. Just saying. He goes out there to go and get involved, to go and activist, right? He's going to record, he's going to film, and he's strapped just in case things go sideways, you know. Like it usually does when you're at a riot, whatever. So they're getting in the street, they're blocking the street, this guy's trying to direct traffic. ICE starts pushing people back out of the street. Get out of the street, clear the street. There's a couple of ladies and this dude. 3 or 4 ICE guys. One ICE guy pushes a lady down. This guy goes to try and help her up. While he's trying to help her up, he's also fighting with an ICE guy that's trying to spray him with pepper spray. And he gets sprayed with pepper spray, he turns his back, goes to help this lady up, grabs a hold of her hood, starts to kind of drag her. They're starting to pull this guy now, get him wrestled down. He's holding on to her hood. They break his grip on her hood. There's a tussle. More guys jump in. There's 7, 8 fucking guys all over this dude. 2 or 3 of them are actually on the ground wrestling. One guy's pistol whipping him. Another guy comes up, sees that this guy's got a gun. He takes the gun off of him. A guy says, "Gun, gun." Dude turns. Bow. Gun goes off. When the gun goes off, somebody's screaming, "Gun, gun." These guys immediately break off. So the way it seems like it's going to play out is, the guy went to the riot with a gun. Decided to get in the street, take a very active role, directing traffic and whatnot. He decides to take another active role when he goes over to try to defend the woman that gets pushed down by the ICE agent. They immediately get into it with him. I never hear at any point him announce that he has a gun. And from what I have heard, from what I know, if you are a concealed carry individual, you have to announce to your law enforcement, whenever you encounter them, that you have a gun. Of course. ICE isn't really law enforcement, are they? Probably going to be the dumb argument, whatever, nevertheless. I never hear him announce that he has a gun. Maybe he said it in the tussle in the scrum and he didn't get picked up. I don't know. But at some point they find the gun. As soon as the guy gets the gun, he goes to turn, take the gun away to unload it, I imagine, which is what they usually do. But the gun goes off, fires straight down. This all happens in like a half a second. Gun gets pulled, guy turns, somebody says, gun, gun, bam! Gun, gun! Brrr. I mean, it's... Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is going to be chalked up to an unfortunate tragedy and a good example of why you don't take your gun to the riot. Why realistically you just don't go to the riot. Especially if the riot is trying to interfere with federal law enforcement doing what 77 million people in this country voted for. The 77 million people in this country that voted for Donald Trump care that you don't like it every bit as much as you cared that the 76 million people that voted for Donald Trump when Biden won. Like, it... Nevertheless, we must resist. Because they're going to get rid of all of our illegals. And if they get rid of all of our illegals, then we'll start losing power. And if we start losing power, then, you know, the sun god's going to bake us all. And it's going to freeze us all to death every winter because it's climate change. And whatever it is we need it to be whenever we need it to be. And, yeah, and it's just going to be, everything's going to be racist and phobic and... You don't want to live in a world where men don't essentially just play against women in sports, do you? What the fuck? Gotta have these things. We've got to have a transgender child craze where we're mutilating children. We need to abort at least 2 to 3 million babies a year. Otherwise, we'll start to age again. Nancy Pelosi, the only reason she doesn't look her actual age, which is, I believe, 4,500 years old, is because the agreement she has with her demon is it's an exponential growth thing. She needs to have 2 million babies dead a year. 2 million babies die this year? Nancy Pelosi will look like she's in her mid-40s again. So what was the response? Well, let's just say I think that mistakes were made. I think the way overblown, ridiculous response of the administration of this guy was there to massacre as many cops as he possibly could. I mean, he had a fully loaded gun and an extra clip. He clearly wanted to kill as many cops as he could possibly shoot it. I think that's a little bit too much. I think me doth protest too much on that one. You know what I mean? I think it was so sketchy, and we didn't know what the fuck was happening, and it was so... the video is so bad from the angle that everybody had at the time that I honestly think that they were like, we really got to get ahead of this in a big way. Dude had a gun. He had a gun and a clip, or 2 clips, or whatever the fuck. He had all manner of bullets, and obviously you don't go to a riot with a gun and an extra clip if you're just going to kill a couple of cops. You got to kill as many of them as you can. I think that's an error. I think that is a... at the moment they were saying it, and as far as I am aware currently right now, that is a wildly speculative claim that I don't entirely think holds water. Like I guess we got to look more into this guy's fucking social media. We got to read his manifesto before we. Who knows? In the coming weeks, he might have a manifesto, and sure as shit, it might have been the reason he was down there. But it didn't happen. I think that was a miscalculation. Whoever it was that said we're gonna go fucking ape shit crazy over this. My wonder is, because I think the first person I heard say it was the guy that runs HBC or whatever, or the border control guy. I think he was the first person I saw say it, but the second person I saw say it was Christy the Gnome. And like, if we ever find out that it was Christy the Gnome that wanted to go with that as a story, and like that was her choice and her decision, if we find out that that's the case, I think it's just gonna bolster the reason why I certainly didn't want her to be fucking president. Because again, she's only good when she's told to do something and then she goes and does it. When she comes up with shit on her own, she's not a good decision maker. So if that story is a Christy the Gnome story, then that sucks. But if that's a Trump masterpiece, that also sucks. Because what the fuck, man? Like, at some point, you gotta get control over everything. Is a million or none? It's either nothing, why do we even care about it? Or this is the biggest fucking most ridiculous thing ever. Like, we need to find a middle ground, Mr. President. God damn it. Like, but the story of, well, this is just a guy who was out there, exercising his First and Second Amendment rights, and he was just executed in the middle of the street over that. Well, my first argument against that is, why are we reporting about the death of one person as opposed to the death of thousands? Because I gotta tell you, watching some of these videos of these fucking children going to the Hilton Inn because there might be ICE people here and we don't want anybody to sleep. Fuck it. I'm up all night. You're up all night. Hear me play on my trash can. Watching these fucking children lose their mind. I gotta tell you, if I were staying at the Hilton Inn in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now, I'd be throwing the furniture inside of the room down on top of you fucktards. Don't anybody do that. Don't do that. That's a bad thing. I don't even think you can open most of those windows anyways, which is good. Don't do that. Bad idea. We don't need this shit to go that direction. Because once the populace starts fighting the populace, that's going to be really fucking crazy. We just don't need that. But that will be the point when the fucking Marines go in. It's been 2 people. This shit has been going on for years. A year at least. It went on last presidency, or, last Trump presidency. It's been going on all year. They're rioting in LA at the beginning of the year. Now they're rioting in Minneapolis at the end of the year. And if it was really just, well, they're just out there killing protesters, a lot more protesters you would think would be dead. But also it would have to be a thing where the guy that disarmed that guy willingly provided justification. That guy got that guy's gun, turned around, and in that split second made the decision, if I pop off a round into the gun or into the ground, Hopefully nobody will get hurt. And they'll kill this guy. I'd like to think that that's a stretch. But hey man, who even fucking knows? I'd like to think that a lot of things that are going on right now would be a fucking stretch. It's not. So who knows? That's a brilliant argument. That one officer there, he disarmed him, and as soon as he had his gun in hand, he knew he's unarmed, he is unable to defend himself now. If I just pop one off into the ground, then we can execute him. That's going to be a tough one to prove. That's going to be ultimately impossible to prove unless you have a Democrat president and a Democrat Congress and Senate and a Democrat news and a Democrat court. And, well, the court won't even really fucking matter because they'll just continue to ignore the Supreme. Every time Donald Trump ignores the courts, they go, oh, what the fuck? But every time they ignore the courts, they go, fuck the courts. So, it's only important when it matters to us, so fuck that rule, I guess, whatever. So they won't give a shit about the courts. But, like, once they're in control of everything, they'll, oh, dude. Then, yeah. But that is, you know, I just think a bridge too far. I think that guy decided, yeah, let's set this guy up. That's a. I think that I have a bit of a shadow of doubt on there. You're gonna have to show me a whole lot of evidence, if it even matters to you. But yeah, I don't buy it. Not that anybody's saying that, but like that's the only way the execution narrative goes, by what we see, by what exists. If you are willing to use your lying eyes and view them with what they see, as opposed to what Tim Waltz tells you that they're telling you to not believe your lying eyes, because obviously the way I want you to think of it. So, I don't know. That's what I see, though. Guy gets the gun, fires one into the ground, and that's it. I mean, a round goes off. All these guys are going to look at each other like, who shot? Was it any of us? The guy that we're obviously wrestling here. He's the one shooting. At the end of the day, it's a sad situation that has been building up for a year. When they decided to go down this narrative, when they decided to tell people that ICE is not law enforcement and you don't have to follow their orders, when Donald Trump didn't say, hey, look, we're going to send everybody from ICE down there. We're going to send 20,000 fucking agents and officers, and we're going to send big old buses, and each operation is going to have 2,000 people on it, and it's going to be a team of 10 men to go into the place and get the guy, and 1,990 soldiers to fucking arrest the 3,000 fucking idiots that come out to disturb everything. Then we're just going to load up buses. Like, it's the only option. Or the cops do their job and clear the fucking streets and help ICE pick up the criminals. When they have them at the courthouse, when they have them at the fucking jail cell, then you give them to the ICE, and then the ICE gets rid of them. They disappear onto a plane in someplace else where I'm sure we know where they are. pedophiles and rapists and murderers. Fighting on behalf of pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. And they dare scream about how Donald Trump is a pedophile protector. There's thousands of them out there on the street protecting pedophiles. Whatever. That I think is ultimately going to be the way that this plays out. I can only imagine. Again, I looked at the stupid video so many times. And I found a really good, like, cleaned up version of it too, which was really nice. Because otherwise it's just a big... But yeah, it's pretty obvious. Dude gets the gun goes off, and then he's just killing him. Was it murder? No. Was it an execution because this guy was just exercising his rights? I highly doubt that. Was it a sad situation brought upon by a whole bunch of lies and a whole bunch of mental health problems? Yes. I think yes. Sunday, as I'm sure many of you have heard, big ass storm rolled through. I live in Northeast Ohio. Northeast Ohio got like 10 inches of fucking snow. It snowed pretty much the entirety of Friday night, or Saturday night, Sunday, all day. And then it kind of stopped snowing Sunday night, but it still kind of snowed a little bit, like here and there. Like, oh my gosh, dude. I got up in the morning, Sunday morning, did the things I do every Sunday morning. Took a shit, read my Bible for an hour, got my shit together, got dressed and everything, went outside to go and smoke. And I was like, oh my God, look at this. And I just kind of stomped my way through the snow. Snow was up to fucking here, man. I mean, it was ankle deep. Ankle deep. And I just stomped through the snow, made big footprints, and then got all the way up to... Because I know, at some point, the guy that plows my parents' driveway, he's going to come by, he's going to plow all this shit out of here. Why should I go to the bother, the trouble of grabbing the snow shovel and shoveling myself a path when it's just going to get snowed over again anyways? And now the guy's going to be coming to plow this fucking shit out. So the whole day, I stomped through the snow till finally it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, alright, I want to go out and smoke again, but now I'm gonna carve myself the path. So I snow shoveled all the way from the door of the house to the garage. And then I snow shoveled like around my car so that in the morning I can clean off my car. And then I was like, yeah, fuck that, I'm gonna clean off my car now. So I started cleaning off my car, and I got everything cleaned off, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna go and smoke, and then, that'll be good. Went in and smoked. As soon as I sat down and lit my cigarette, I heard that asshole come up the driveway with the plow. I shoveled for like a half an hour, and then he plowed it about 10 minutes. I was like, you prick. So that pissed me off. But finally, it's plowed. So I'm like, well, shit. Now I can like take my car, like drive it around the block a couple of times, because it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Snowed like crazy all day. Nobody's out on the roads except for the plow trucks. So I'm like, I'll just drive it around the block a couple of times, dump all the shit off the top of my truck, my car, and then come back home, and then my car will be good and cleaned off, ready to go for work tomorrow, right? And I already knew I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, today, until like noon. Like first call was at noon, and I'm like, fuck yeah. So I'm like, I get all this shit done, get everything ready. That way, tomorrow when I gotta go to work, take very little amount of work. I can sleep in and shit, right? I get in my car, start it up, start to drive forward. I look down, and I'm like, first of all, I'm like, why am I leaned over like this? Look down, it's like your fucking tire's flat, man. It's telling me my back passenger side tire was flat. And I'm leaning this way. And I'm like, so I get out, I look, my front driver's side tire was so flat that it was on the ground. And my back tire was up off the ground so much that it felt like there was no air in it. So my car is like all fucked up. I'm like, mind you, this is like 9:30 at night. Sunday night. I'm like, son of a bitch. So now I'm like, great. Now I'm gonna have to fucking change the tire or whatever. And so went in and asked my dad, hey dad, you cool with driving me to work tomorrow? Cause I'll just get the truck at work. I'll just drive the truck home. Gotta get a new tire. I gotta change the tire. This, that, the other thing. And he's like, why don't you just fill the tire up with the air compressor? Just fill it up as much as you can, and then drive it to where you need to take it to go, to shop. As long as it holds air for a little while, you should be good to go. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I did that. Right? Like, I'm thinking today is going to be the worst fucking day in the world, right? Because I'm like, oh, this guy got to fuck with this tire shit, all this, that, the other thing. Spending all my money on magic cards. I ain't got money to spend on fucking tires. But I needed to get 4 tires. My tires were getting bad. So I needed this anyway. So I was like, well, there's that. And I've got a little bit extra money. I was already planning to put like $2,000 on my credit card next month. So, you know what I mean? I'll essentially pay this right off. So that's something. Everything was just kind of not go anywhere for a month. Whatever. And so that was cool. Got new tires. Took it in. I was expecting it to be a day or two. I'm like, how long do you think this is going to take? He's like, oh, like an hour or so. And I'm like, well, fuck. That's cool. I was thinking it was going to take a day or two because I figured they'd have to order them or something. So I go back home. My dad's like, why don't you just take my car? We ain't going anywhere today. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. So I drove Dad's car to work. I get into work at like 11 o'clock. And my boss is there, and I was like, what are we doing? Because I looked at the schedule, and the schedule said office meeting. And I'm like, okay. So I get there, I'm like, what are we doing? And he's like, well, first thing we're going to do is we need to clean off those cars. And I was like, okay. So I just grabbed the thing, started cleaning off all the trucks. And then the other guys showed up as I was done cleaning off like the rest of the trucks. And then he was like, all right, now shovel all the snow out from around the trucks. So we shoveled the 3 of us shoveled all the snow out from around the trucks. And then he's like, all right, now shovel and play for us to get up to the front door, shovel away for us to get the trash down to the curb, get the trash down to the curb, shovel out all these stone blocks. We need these. Bring them in. It's like, all right, cool. So we did all that. And then he's like, all right, now we're going to Pizza Hut. It was like, okay. So we all got in cars and we went to Pizza Hut. And we all sat and ate pizza. And then we got back to the office. And we did like a couple of goofy little jobs to just get things ready for stuff. And then we went home. And I was like, fucking hey. So I got home. Pulled the car in, put Dad's car in the garage, walked down to where I had to get my fucking car, got my fucking car, got home, been sorting magic cards all day. It wound up being a great day. Who knew? Blessings of the Lord shine down upon me. Hey, whatever. So, I want to show you some of the cool cards I got out of the D&D set. First of all, I would like to highly recommend the D&D set. I think it was a very cool set. $200 for a box of booster packs. It's only 30 packs. It's not 36 packs, not 32 packs, 30 packs. There's only 12 cards in a pack, not 15, not 16, 12 cards in a pack. So you don't get that many cards, but it's a really good set. It doesn't seem like it's a huge set either, so I think that's kind of why they did it that way. So, funny story, the way that I open these things when I'm just opening up 30 fucking packs of cards is I just open them all up. I sort them common, uncommon, rare, lands, you know, I just kind of sort them into tokens. I sort them all out by what they generally are. And then I sleeve them all, and you know, then I kind of sort them into colors and whatnot, and then that's when I actually really like look at them. So I had gotten them all undone, had them all in their piles, and then I was like, all right, time to go take a smoke break. Went outside, smoked. While I was outside, I looked up like the chase cards, the expensive cards for the set that I was just opened, and I'm looking through it. I'm like, well, I got that one. That's like $5, and I got that one. That one's like $10. And so I wound up with like 3 or 4 of them out of the top 10, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And I looked at the #1 card, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I got an old Gnawbone, because it just didn't look familiar to me. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the normal border card, normal picture, just normal card. I was like, I don't think I got that one. I come back inside, I sit down, I look over at the stack of rares and mythics, and what do I see? The reason why I didn't recognize the old Gnawbone is because I didn't have a normal one. I had a full art old Gnawbone. This is like a $50, $60 card. Like 53, 55. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That is the #1 chase card out of that set that I opened, the Adventures in Forgotten Realms. Pretty cool. Full art. I thought that was sweet. And then the other thing that they did that I thought was really cool that I wanted to share with you guys is, I don't know how many of you are old D&D players, like from back in the day, like 70s, 80s, right? But the old modules that you would get for playing the game, if you just didn't want to bother to come up with an actual campaign, you just wanted to go through a module, the module cover art looked like this. Focus. Focus. There we go. Thank you. This is exactly how the books looked. It says an adventure for levels between whatever and whatever. This is D&D up in the corner. And that's kind of how they all looked. And it had, you know, little things all over it and whatnot. But it's still the same framing of how they looked. And I thought that was fucking cool. They reproduced the kind of the effect. Here's the cool foily one that I got. Always makes it difficult to really show off the card when the camera doesn't want to focus, and it's foil, and it's in a case. And I'm trying to hit reflections and shit. But yeah, I thought these were pretty badass. I only got these 3. I got a couple of Evolving Wilds. This is the common one. But I got a common, uncommon, and a rare one of these. I thought those were pretty damn cool. And I got a bunch of full art dragons. They have a white, blue, red, green, and black dragon. And I got like 3 of the full art cards, but nothing really all that dramatic with them. I might as well show them to you. I bothered to tell you about them. Might as well show them to you. I think they're pretty cool. I mean, they're very cool looking. I put them in big magnetic cases. I like the green dragon. That was really badass. But I only got those in full art. The other ones, the black dragon and the red dragon, I got in the normal basic card. So this is kind of what I'm talking about when I was like, yeah, I didn't recognize the card. You see the difference between that shit and that shit? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had no idea that I had a really souped up version of the #1 card pick out of the fucking... Yeah, so there you go. That's all the fun from the Magic, and that's been my crazy last 2 days. Been wild. New tires though. Love them. 4-wheel drive, even in snow like that with brand new tires. Good from here on out.